Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and remember, Context is Everything Media Network founder and CEO John Michael is reading another textbook cover to cover. This is a 1940 American history textbook from a Catholic school. Chapter 3, The English Colonies, Other Founders of Colonies. This is Section 5. Roger Williams, a new pastor, about 10 years earlier. About 10 years after the Pilgrims settled at Plymouth, Roger Williams joined the colony. He was a well-educated young man. He was made pastor of the church at Plymouth. After 2 years, Roger Williams left Plymouth. He became the pastor of the Puritan church at Salem. Roger Williams was a forceful speaker. He became well known as a preacher. Very soon, he found himself in trouble. The rights of the Indians. Roger Williams found himself in trouble for two reasons. 1. The Puritans did not like the other ideas about religion. 2. The officers of the king did not like Roger Williams' ideas that land in America belonged to the Indians. Roger Williams decided to flee from Massachusetts. He escaped in the middle of the winter. The snow was very deep, and it was bitterly cold. The paths through the forest were covered with snow, so that it was hard to follow him. Bravely, Roger Williams pushed along as shown in the picture. Roger Williams bravely pushing along with a native gentleman at his side. I'm guessing because of the hairstyle on the native-looking gentleman. I don't think the mohawk was a popular Puritan hairstyle. Bravely, Roger Williams pushed along as shown in the picture. He suffered many hardships. At last, he reached the wigwam of an Indian friend. Chief Massasoit had been a friend of Roger Williams for a long time. The chief made his friend welcome. Roger Williams remained with his Indian friends through the winter. He tried to give the Indians some ideas about Christianity. Roger Williams went into the country near Narragansett Bay, the founding of a province. The founding of Providence. The Indians gave their friend Roger Williams a piece of land for their settlement. A settlement was founded in 1636 by a number of friends who joined Roger Williams. They called their settlement Providence. The settlement was the beginning of the colony of Rhode Island. Rhode Island. There were many people who liked the ideas of Roger Williams. They believed that his ideas were good. Many followers moved into Rhode Island. A number of towns were settled on the territory granted to Roger Williams. Later, the towns were united under one government. Rhode Island became a prosperous colony. Other founders of colonies. Thomas Hooker. New heading. Another earnest preacher. The example of Roger Williams was followed by Thomas Hooker. He, too, was a preacher. Roger Williams left Massachusetts for religious reasons. Thomas Hooker left Massachusetts because of the harsh government in the colony. This earnest preacher believed that all the people should have the voice of in the government. Journey into Connecticut. All the people who attended the church where Thomas Hooker preached believed in his ideas. They believed in his ideas of government just as they believed in his religious ideas. These people were willing to follow Thomas Hooker into the new lands. More than 100 people made up the group ready to go where Thomas Hooker led them. The men drove all their cattle ahead of them. They drove about 160 head of cattle out of Massachusetts. It was June 1636 when the journey was begun. There was no roads. The party followed an old Indian trail. A path across the wild or unsettled region is called a trail. They carried all their possessions with them, as shown on page 105. It's just a picture of people walking with possessions and cattle. Here is a map of Connecticut. Not really too well lit, but that's what the map looks like here in this book. The New Settlement. The new settlement in Connecticut was a success. 800 settlers moved into Connecticut by the end of spring. They built homes in towns of Hartford, Windsor, and Wethersfield. They chose the sites carefully, and the towns grew to be cities. These people wanted to have a good government. These people wanted to have a good government. They drew up a set of rules to protect their freedoms. This set of rules is called the Fundamental Orders of Connecticut. Fundamental means necessary, and orders are laws. So we may think of the Fundamental Orders of Connecticut as necessary laws or rules for the people of Connecticut. This set of laws protected the rights of the people and gave them a voice in the government. It was a simple step in self-government. New Hampshire. Between Maine and Massachusetts, there was a strip of sea coast. Some fishermen had made a few little settlements along the coast. A few fur traders had cabins in the region. Some farmers from Massachusetts had moved into this land. This part of the country became New Hampshire colony. And that's it. We're pulling through this book pretty quick, actually, so we're about a fifth of the way through it. This is the teacher's edition in the back. You get this little... About a fifth of the way through. Thank you. God bless. Goodbye. Hope you have a good day.